Welcome to the Mind Control arc. I know this just ended 2 weeks ago and I'm already making a compilation about it, but screw you, I wanted to do this. Just keep in mind that about 60% of the video is just my Sims.
Oh, hey everybody, I'm just trying to write down some ideas for videos, and now I'm trying to do some different stuff. I could review the most recent movie I watched. It's what I would say if I didn't just watch Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh, I could discuss some drama going on in the internet. There's some issues going on in the Uno community. I don't want to get political. I could do kids' book read-alongs. That wouldn't really fit my age demographic, though. The geezers down at the retirement home love me. Ooh, I know! I could start a podcast! Hold on, 1 second. I'll just happen by the strangers to play Stunt Race FX now.
Have you ever been playing Mario Kart and go,
What if this looked like
well, that question has finally been answered. Stunt Race FX is an SNES game that took advantage of the special FX chip. Hell, it's even in the name. The FX chip was put into a few SNES games to do some pretty crazy stuff. Yoshi's Island just used it to add some interesting visual effects and have some more detailed art, but that's really all it needed. That game looks beautiful even today, but the real potential of this chip was shown with this game and Star Fox, giving these games pseudo 3D graphics. This must have been crazy seeing back in 1993, but today?
What the f*** am I looking at?
Yeah, these games didn't age well. It's kinda hard to tell what you're looking at sometimes, and playing them for too long just gives me a headache. But enough dilly-dallying and talking about other games, let's just get right into this. We immediately start off with a clown honk with the logo showing up.
Great, 2 seconds into this game and it's already insulting me.
Going to the menu, we have some banger music. In fact, this game's entire soundtrack is pretty good. I think it's one of the most underrated SNES soundtracks. Starting off with the Grand Prix mode, there's 3 different vehicles you can choose from. I've always chosen the guy with the average stats, plain and simple, like bread. I'd name myself Sex. Now there's only 2 cups you can play in the Grand Prix mode. Man, this game better slow down, there's just too many choices! The first course, Easy Ride, sure is easy. While it's a basic course, it works perfectly as a starter course and it looks pretty decent. Look, it's Mario! The next level, Aqua Tunnel, is pretty neat. While the concept isn't crazy, it works well for a course and has a fun and decently challenging layout. And then we get to the bonus stage and we can drive through checkpoints to get extra time. Oh my god, this might be the worst controlling thing in any game I've ever played. The turning is so slippery, it feels like I'm on 20 layers of ice. Sunset Valley is easily the best course in this cup. It has some pretty decent visuals and it's super fun to play. Night Owl is decent. It's probably the nicest looking course here, but I feel like a lot of the turns are too sharp and the darkness gets a bit annoying. Alright, now let's go to the Expert Cup with King's Forest. This one's kinda difficult. The turns are sharp but still reasonable and the time limit is pretty strict. There's also some annoying fog effect, but I did get used to it. Now we have Sea Breeze. This is a square. The beachy background is nice, but the layout is boring as hell! Oh boy, time for another bonus. Let's see how awful it is. It's the same thing with a different layout. Ew. Time to go to Whiteland. Perfect for people like me. This is really fun. It keeps you on your toes and it looks great. This is easily the best track here. Finally, we have Night Cruise. This one has a decent layout, but the visuals are too similar to Night Owl, causing it to be a bit forgettable. Let's hit the down button on the menu and go to the stunt track, starting with Ice Dance. Yuck. The ice physics are pretty annoying, but I can deal with them. The layout of what I finished was decent. Yeah, these are really hard to actually finish. I only got 17 out of the 40 stars here. Blue Lake is dumb. You're constantly getting slowed down from the water and the steering is way more slippery. I got 18 out of the 40 stars this time. What a difference. Rockfield is easily the best course here. It's not too hard and it feels pretty unique. This is the only stunt level I actually went through and finished, getting all 40 stars. Up and Down is pretty decent too. It has some really fun jumps that make me feel like a child being like, oh, look at him go. The Paddle Tracks mode is just pretty similar to the version of the Grand Prix mode. It works pretty well, but I don't have much to say. And then Free Tracks is just time trials mode. Again, works well, but what else do I have to say?
And that was Stunt Race FX. Well, this game's visuals don't hold up very well. Its gameplay is pretty good and it's just oozing with charm. And there's something really special watching this game run on an actual SNES cartridge. It's so novel. So if you have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, why not check it out? Well, now it's time to put this game into the pile of games I made an entire video about. Just gotta set the pile again. Ugh. You agree, Playley? No. Alright. Finally. Every single game I made a video solely based on together. You know, now that I think about it, I don't think I needed to take every single game off the shelf and individually check them. Alright, what should I play? Oh, God, ow! Sure. Hey everybody, Wii Sports was surely something, right? Nintendo was a genius for packing this in with the Wii, until 75% of Wii owners just wouldn't buy any other game. Nintendo needed to make a new game to appeal to the casuals, one that they could maybe sell alongside a second Wii remote to get rid of some unsold stock. It's perfect!
The voices are getting louder, and they're telling me to play billiards. Wii Play was a very interesting move by Nintendo. It was pretty much just made as an excuse to sell extra Wii remote stock to families. Nowadays, it seems a classic in the console's library, but let's see if the nostalgia-blind losers are right and go through all 9 minigames. First is Shooting Range, which is highly based off of Duck Hunt. Level 1 has you shooting balloons floating up, Level 2 is targets that just appear out of nowhere, Level 3 has clay pigeons just like Duck Hunt, Level 4 has cans that bounce up after a shot, and Level 5 has UFOs kidnapping tiny Miis that you have to destroy before they fly away. This is a perfect way to introduce how the Wii Remote Pointer can be used, and it's a great remake of the Nintendo, or I guess, Sega classic. Next up is Find Me.
Man, this is a tough one. Gimme!
I hope you like seeing, cause that's all you do here. You just find the lookalikes, and find the fastest, and find the odd one out. Occasionally you get into a groove, you're clearing levels left and right, and then BAM! A darkness level screws you over. While these minigames have multiplayer, this one is honestly more fun if there's only one reader mode and you're working together. Not the worst minigame here, okay, never mind, it is the worst minigame here. Table tennis. I've always had a soft spot for this one. It's very simple. You hit the ball and try to get as high of a rally as possible. This game is very basic, but that's why I love it. It's one of the only minigames here that no matter what mood I'm in, if you put this on, I'll have a grand old time. Next minigame, Pose Me. 99% of pose meters drop a bubble before reaching level 5. In this game, you do different poses depending on what the bubbles show and run into them. If you miss 3 bubbles, the game is over. This game is nothing too crazy, but it can get intense in multiplayer. F***ing laser hockey, am I right? This is easily the most forgettable minigame here. Yeah, Find Me kinda sucks, but at least it's memorable because of how early you unlock it. Laser hockey is just there. It's fun, but I've never said, I'm going to play Wii Play Laser Hockey. At least trapping the puck in the corner when you're ahead is still one of the greatest rage bait methods of all time. There you happy voices, I'm playing billiards. This is one of the most iconic games, and not just Wii Play, but of all time. So how did Nintendo incorporate this iconic activity? Every time I play this, I feel like I'm very slowly shaking dice. This would probably be one of my favorite games if it actually f***ing worked. To hit the ball, you need to bring the remote close to you and then fling it forward, but Jesus, this just refuses to work. It's not just me, if you played Wii Play, you know what I'm talking about. So while this game can have some hype as hell moments, I would never want to play this just because of the horrible controls. Yeah, fishing! Now this is how you do a Wii Play minigame. Simple art style, interesting catch of the day gimmick, no complaints. Except for the small fry. Catching a small fry is one of the biggest yous in gaming. Imagine this, you're casually fishing, then the catch of the day shows the king of the pond. You lock in, bam, 1,000 points. That is one of the greatest feelings you can have as a virgin. Then there's the penultimate minigame, Charge. Yep, that's Charge with an exclamation mark. This has always been seen as one of the worst minigames in Wii Play, but I've always liked it. I know this is gonna really piss off the Wii Play fandom, but I don't care. In this, you tilt the Wii remote forwards and side to side to control a cow trying to hit these scarecrows. It controls surprisingly well, and it's fun seeing just how fast you can finish the course. Now for the final minigame here, Tanks. If you played this game before, you know just how intricate Tanks is compared to the other 8 minigames. Everyone sees this as the best minigame by far, but honestly, table tennis is better. I still very much enjoy this minigame, but I feel like it's a little repetitive pretty quick. It's really fun in short bursts, but if I get into a long game of it, I'm numb after level 10.
Alright, we're ranking all the minigames here. Last place is Find Me. I can't find a reason to play this game again. I'm being serious, I really need to get a new prescription. Next is Laser Hockey. It's still fun, but I just never feel the urge to replay it. Then there's Billiards. It would be great if it wasn't for the god-awful controls. Sixth is Pose Me. Very fun in multiplayer, but kind of repetitive. Fifth is Charge. There's really nothing crazy wrong with it, but it's just not that interesting. Shooting Range at fourth. It's a great introductory game, and it's just pretty fun overall. Third is Fishing. It's such a cozy little experience, I'll never get tired of it. Second is Tanks. Very fun for a bit, but it can get boring, which is why it's in second, right below Table Tennis. I don't care, I love that minigame. There, another game down. Now what? A minute. Huh. Strange.
Perfect, it's all coming together.
Ugh. God, when is this gonna end? Just had to be through those. Where's the... Yep, I've lost it. Hey everybody, I'm getting some sort of itch. The itch to play The Sims. But it's more of a cartoony art style, and you do building quests to help other citizens, maybe with a medieval or agent gimmick, and sometimes it's a party, racing, or aircraft game. So basically a forgotten Wii series with The Sims name. Ah! Ow! Was that really necessary?
While The Sims was decently popular when it released in 2000, it wasn't until The Sims 2 in 2004 when the series really hit the mainstream. The Sims was quickly becoming a big name in the gaming industry. EA knew this series had potential, so they started to branch out. Console ports, expansions, console ports of those expansions, and on September 18th, 2007, the first spin-off in the Sims series released, My Sims.
As someone who doesn't own a single normal Sims game but owns every single My Sims game, these games fascinate me. They're such an interesting facet in EA's history. The series was doing so well and then just died out of nowhere. It's obvious that the series is still in EA's mind with the release of the Cozy Bundle, including the first 2 games back in November 2024, which I do not have at this moment. While it was just a basic re-release of the 2 games, it still gives a little hope for a new game in the series, but until then, let's just go through the entire series we have now.
The original My Sims is very basic. The plot is that there was once a Wandelier who ran this big town and built buildings and furniture for the townsfolk. But when he left, or died, the town was left on its own, causing people to move away and the town being a shell of what it was. Until a new Wandelier moved in to save the town. And who is that savior? Well, it's you! After a very long tutorial from the mayor teaching you how to build items and collect essences to paint site creations, you're off to do whatever the hell. You fully control your character in this game, moving, building, and that's it. Yep, not even a jump button. They really want to make this as accessible as possible. Every day, a citizen will give you a quest to build something or collect essences, and occasionally, a new resident will show up in the hotel run by Buddy. Trust me, you'll be important later. You can create a building that'll fit the new resident's style and they'll move in. The essences in this game are surprisingly important since almost every quest needs a certain one. You can get them from shaking trees, fishing, talking to residents, pretty much anything. These characters are very one-sided. Their entire personalities are based off of one gimmick. Poppy likes flowers, DJ Candy is, well, a DJ, Gino is a chef, etc. It's not really a problem in this game, it's just something I'm pointing out now. And that's My Sims. Well, there's not much to do. It works well as a pop in for 20 minutes and see what's going on game. This game hit it big with the casual market. This game had everything a typical Wii player needed. A simple art style, basic but reliable gameplay style, flirting. It was destined to succeed. It got decent reviews and it sold nearly 4 million copies in the first 6 months. So just 1 year later, we got My Sims Kingdom on October 28th, 2008. Just in time for Halloween.
Wonder what was up with that guy.
This game actually has a story. The game starts with your mother, caretaker, lover. Either way, they don't seem to be very good at any of them, yelling at you to round up the pigs because every medieval bitch has pigs for some reason. After that, Buddy comes in to tell you about this contest happening. I told you it'd be important later. Oh yeah, there's also Lindsay, I guess. You know how you were the Wandelier in this last game? In this one, there's a contest being held in this depressing-ass castle, which will decide the next Wandelier, with the second place prize being a toaster oven.
Man, screw being this game's equivalent to God. I want that damn toaster oven.
The contest is just a glorified tutorial. It teaches you how building works with normal blocks, houses, now being able to decorate the interiors alongside the exterior instead of having to do them separately, and gears, which are new to this game. If gears are attached to a generator, they'll start spinning. Connecting gears to certain objects will cause them to power on. These are the main gimmick to some pretty interesting puzzles throughout the game. Essences make a return, but in this game they're used to unlock new building blocks to place in the world. Oh yeah, you can build anywhere to solve puzzles in this game, but put like the largest asterisk ever on anywhere. The places where you can place objects are very limited. You're allowed to put whatever you want in these areas, but they make it pretty obvious what they want you to put there. Oh, so jumping is finally a thing now.
I didn't know they could do it.
The game is split up into many different islands. Every time you finish the main quest in one, you're given 1 or 2 more that open up. This game gives you a decent amount of freedom in the order you tackle the islands, which is pretty nice. A lot of the islands are inhabited by characters that could move into your island from the first game, which is pretty neat. The main problem with the islands is that they don't feel real. All areas in them are set up in a way that feels so game-like. I know that sounds stupid considering this is a game, but I wish the developers were able to make these places feel lived in. This game hit it big when it released. It did pretty well with scores, and it even got nominated for Best Simulation Game by IGN. EA knew they had something good on their hands, so only 6 months later, we got My Sims Party on March 10th, 2009. This was the first game in the series to branch out from the traditional formula, this one being a party game.
Holy really?
There's a f***ing lunatic and her monkey in town, and they're forcing everyone to participate in a party. There's about 12 different parties you can participate in, each having a different series of minigames. Any minigame you play in those you can unlock in the free play mode. I currently only have about 15 minigames unlocked because I don't like this game that much. The minigames are perfectly respectable, but that's it. It's just the minigames. There's no board mode like Mario Party, there's no extra modes. The only extra thing you get is being able to decorate a town from items you get from the parties, and it's completely pointless. One thing I like about this game though is that you can unlock characters from previous games as playable characters in the mini-games. It shows that they still at least cared a little. Yeah, there's not much to say about this game. It's a perfectly respectable Wii minigame collection, but it's not something I willingly whip out when playing with friends. Carnival Games is right there. This game wasn't really received that well, but that didn't stop EA, because a mere 3 months later, we got My Sims Racing on June 12th, 2009. In a world where racing takes over all and people are only seen as how good they are at driving, you exist. And you want to race. That's it. We got this old guy named Gabby who teaches us the tricks of racing and helps us rise the ranks. He's kind of a dick. Pretty much whenever you talk to him, he finds some way to insult you or make a witty remark. He seems like the type of elder to give up his useless medications and then die a week later. You got your basic accelerating and turning and drifting, but the drifting is pretty different in this game than in, for example, Mario Kart. First of all, it controls like ass, and second, instead of building up a speed boost and having it activate as soon as the drift's over, while drifting, collecting these little items on the track, getting airtime, or bumping off opponents, this boost meter fuels up and you can use it at any time. It's nothing crazy, but it's a good way to differentiate the gameplay a bit. Like My Sims Party, you're able to play as different characters throughout the My Sims franchise, which isn't that insane, but it's a nice way to get our buddy fix for the game. In this game, you get to build your own vehicle. You can't jack up all the stats and leave your enemy in the dust, it's just shape and decoration. This game makes an interesting decision with the Grand Prix mode. The first cup, the Town Cup, only has 2 tracks, but every cup gains 1 track. The Greenwood Cup has 3 tracks, the Snowy Cup has 4, and the Ultimate Cup has 5, with a grand total of 14 tracks. Chili Hill Village, Sugar Rush Speedway, Crater Lake, Tumbleweed Track, Bayou Boardwalk, Gopher Gulch, Crescendo Clues, Sunset Slalom, Tree Logger Trail, Misty Motorway, Darkwood Falls, Dr. S, Daredevil Drive, Pinball Canyon, Mount Shivrest. Overall, this was a very respectable racing game, but it's obviously not a substitute for Mario Kart. This game wasn't a big hit either. While it reviewed alright, it didn't sell all that well. At this time, the series was pretty much running on whether or not this next game did well, because another 3 months later, My Sims Agents released on September 29th, 2009. This game brings back the typical My Sims gameplay we know and love from the original in Kingdom, but with a more straightforward story and much more linear gameplay. The game starts with you and your comic-loving best friend Buddy, told you to be important later, as a ragtag detective duo. You start with solving some basic cases around the town until eventually you catch the attention of a famous detective agency and they hire you. Then you get your own headquarters and you're able to explore new places like the mountains, the industrial district, and somewhere else. I haven't played enough to unlock it. The headquarters is very important for most parts of the game. You can hire My Simians from the series, and before you leave for a case, you can set a group of people out on a smaller case. Throughout your own case, you'll get text messages updating you about their case, and occasionally you'll have to make a decision, and depending on the decisions you make, the case can either succeed or fail. This is a very interesting gameplay feature and makes the duller parts of the game more fun. There's also some tools that introduce us to some new mini-games that we play throughout the game. These mini-games aren't anything special, but they aren't too intrusive and they're a good way to make the gameplay more interesting. The main villain of this game is this guy called Morcubus, owner of MorcuCorp, which runs pretty much everything. It's probably some message on corporate greed and power or whatever. The main gameplay loop is you run to someone who's experiencing a problem, and you explore the area trying to find clues to solve said problem. This might sound like it would get repetitive and boring, but it works really well. One of my favorite parts about this game is that it's pretty much everything in the environment can be interacted with and has unique interaction dialogue. I also love just how packed with stuff each area is. These both make this game just feel so alive. Every environment feels lived in. Most characters are from previous games, but they still feel a little different. Their personalities aren't completely one-sided now. They're still pretty basic, but they feel more like real people. Apparently this game ends with a cliffhanger that was going to be concluded in the sequel, My Sims Agents 2, before it was ultimately scrapped. I haven't beaten this game, so I haven't seen the ending. Don't completely take my word for it, take this Reddit user's word. Everything about this game just feels like the old games but better. The movement is as smooth as it's ever been, the environment is super well done, and the story, while simple, is still interesting and fun to uncover. This is easily my favorite game in the series, and apparently, I'm not alone. This game was the highest rated in the series. EA was originally going to keep pumping these games out fast with the aforementioned My Sims Agents 2. They ended up canceling it sometime in early 2010. They wanted something new, something built from the ground up. So on September 28th, 2010, almost exactly 1 year later, we got My Sims Sky Heroes. EA had high hopes for this game. This won't even be the only one released on the Xbox 360 and PS3. EA really believed in this one.
This sucks.
So what, did the EA dev that pitched this just go,
Okay, so, you know My Sims, right? That stupid series we just make for money. So we made those first 2, and, you know, people like this one. Yeah. And then we made those, Party and the racing games. People did not like those. So then we made that agent one. And then people really liked that one. So maybe we would just do another one based off the agent or the My Sims Kingdom or those ones. But no, we're putting them in the Air Force.
This game isn't good. The game starts with you washing up on some random island and someone just walks up to you and pretty much goes, "Congratulations on not dying. We're gonna make you fight for your life in the skies now. Oh, you can't fly? It's okay. We'll just teach you by hiring a bunch of people that gun you down. Good luck." You very quickly learn how to control the plane and introduced to the two main level types, fighting enemies and racing. Is this game secretly the coveted My Sims Racing 2? Somehow this game is even worse turning controls than racing, and the gameplay is so repetitive. All you do is fight and race over and over and over. There's no change in the gameplay, yet it always feels like a switch is right around the corner. Playing this game is like the definition of insanity. My Sims Agents had a bit of a darker theme, but it still retained the series' goofy and fun nature. This game is so serious for no reason. It's trying so hard to be cool, like when the rest of the series isn't sweeter than Grandma's cookies. Oh yeah, we can't forget about the fact that no characters from the first 5 games show up. Buddy has been a major character since the start and they just f***ing shafted him? Bullshit! Now it's time for the list of positives.
It's empty.
There's nothing good about this game. It's just some boring cash grab that doesn't even feel like it's from the same series. This was sadly the final My Sims game. In late 2010, EA decided they wanted to move the Sim series in a different direction and My Sims had no part of it. This game had alright reviews and there were other games planned, but those were cancelled and the series slowly fell into obscurity. Except for the Cozy Bundle, we haven't gotten any new games since.
And that was the My Sims series on Wii. Oh, you thought we were done? Oh no, we still need to play the DS versions, which I'm playing on my perfectly legal Nintendo DS on my perfectly legal copies of the game.
Listen, you gotta understand that I really did not want to buy all these games twice. My Sims DS. This is just the Wii game, but worse. It's from a top-down perspective this time, which is kinda interesting. The main gameplay loop is very similar, same kind of building and moving and residence stuff. This game looks awful, everyone has the same dead expression on their face, and the art style is just bleh. The area you get to explore is a bit smaller too, not like the original game had that big of a map. While we're here, I might as well talk about the mobile phone version of this game. No, not the ports of the Cozy Bundle versions of this game in Kingdom for Apple Arcade. This version. This version was released on Java phones on December 3rd, 2008. I might have been able to play this game for a few minutes if I had no sense of suspicion. The only download I was able to find of this game was from this super sketchy website, and I don't want to risk it. Which I am perfectly fine with, this game looks absolutely awful. My Sims Kingdom DS is the exact same thing as the first DS game with a slightly different premise. It barely even has a medieval style either, just a basic life sim like the first one. It does have a way nicer art style though. My Sims Party DS is exactly the same as the Wii game premise-wise, but the mini-games are changed to use the touch controls. This isn't fun. My Sims Racing DS is actually pretty interesting. The story mode has an actual hub to explore and visually it's very impressive for the DS. The racing itself is pretty boring though. The course designs are a lot simpler and there's only 6 races instead of 8, making it less chaotic, which is something I kinda liked with the Wii game. My Sims Agents DS disappointed me. You just walk around these small maps talking to NPCs and hoping they have a case for you, and if they do, it's just a stupid minigame. What a damn downgrade. My Sims Sky Heroes DS is everything about the Wii game but worse. Worse controls, worse story, and way worse visuals. God, this game is ugly.
There we go, that's all the DS games. But we're still not done. We need to talk about the canceled games.
We already talked about My Sims Agents 2, but there's 4 others here. My Sims Friends was meant to release on the 3DS near its launch, but was ultimately scrapped because EA decided that the Sims brand didn't need My Sims. It was meant to go back to the series' roots and be more simulation-based. There's going to be a My Sims themed MMO where you could build towns with other people online. It was meant to release in 2009, but was cancelled for unknown reasons. My Sims Worlds was a prototype name given to a game that never survived past pre-production. This was meant to be a big change for the series, completely changing the art style. Many believe elements from this game were used in Agents and Sky Hero since concept art depicts environments similar to those seen in those games. Finally, we have My Sims Sports, which was very early in development before being cancelled for the same reason as Friends. We didn't even know about this game's existence until 2019 when this piece of concept art was revealed by someone who worked for EA alongside revealing that a sports game was in development. I want to say a special thank you to the My Sims fandom wiki. I wouldn't have known nearly as much about these cancelled games without it. Wait, what the hell is My Sims camera?
My camera works fine. I don't know why I need a My Sims one.
Apparently there's 2 more games I had no idea about until writing this very part of the script. My Sims Camera was a very basic DSiWare application where you take photos and you slap on My Sims characters as well as drawing on the photo. My Sims Puzzle Party was a Java phone puzzle game only released in South Korea on January 20th, 2010. This game is sadly now considered lost media, but there is a video showing off all 6 minigames. Trevor's Stunt Stage, where you collect gems in a maze, DJ Candy's Grab Bag, where you create music by destroying connecting blocks, Mel's Haunted House, Candy Crush before it even existed, Chef Gino's Treasure Hunt, getting Gino from point A to point B while avoiding ghosts, Dr. F's Secret Experiment, organizing some color capsules, so basically Puyo Puyo, and Poppy's Pretty Flower Box, a Tetris clone with flowers. Apparently at some point there's a giveaway where people could win prizes.
There, I talked about the puzzle party. Am I done? God damn it.
We already talked about the Cozy Bundle, but there are 2 other collections released for the Wii and DS respectively. My Sims Collection Wii was released on November 9th, 2010, including the original My Sims and My Sims Racing. Then there's My Sims Collection DS, which release date was unknown since it only released in the Netherlands of all places. This version included My Sims Kingdom and My Sims Party. I find it interesting that these go under the same name even though they include completely different games.
There, I talked about the Wii games, the DS games, the canceled games, the collections, the camera, and the damn puzzle party. I'm done! Oh god, here we go again. You know what? No! I'm getting to the bottom of this. Guys, what the hell is going on down there?
Who are you? Why are you making me play shitty pinball?
Let me introduce myself. I am your biggest hater.
Your life is so depressing, you go through all the effort to hate me of all people?
Oh, it wasn't always like this. I was once your biggest fan. I remember watching your retro Nintendo videos when I was a wee lad.
I haven't even been around for 2 years yet.
The point I'm trying to make is that you've changed. You were a Nintendo guy. Now you're making videos on PlayStation, movies, a damn album review. I was sick of it. I hacked into your mind with this doohickey.
So you were that guy that shot me with the device before I wanted to play Star Race FX.
That was me, alright.
Okay, first of all, My Sims is not a Nintendo franchise. Second of all, I've never really done retro Nintendo specific stuff. I mean, the first big video I made was a damn Dora game. And also, am I just not allowed to branch off at all?
No, and it seems like I have to take care of you myself.
Well, that was easy. What do I do now?
Wow! Could you believe for the past month I've been controlled by some random dude in my basement? At least he made me play good games before I found out about him. I couldn't fathom talking about any of pinball for 5 minutes. But hey, if that guy was still alive, he'd at least be a little happy, because the Nintendo Switch 2 is about to turn a year old, and I need to talk about my experience with the console. It was bad. Mario Tennis Fever gave me hepatitis.